Video I'm going to compare the Equalizer trilogy, which is based on a TV show, to the Marley and Me movies, which are based on a book. You have the 2008 movie Marley and Me that has Owen Wilson in it, about this couple that end up getting this dog Marley who drives them crazy. A lot of the time they think he's the world's worst dog, but then right before he sadly dies at the end of the movie, and two of them look back on all the time they had with Marley and realize, oh, you actually were a good dog. It's really powerful. And then there was a direct-to-video film called Marley and Me Puppy Years that came out in 2011. That's a prequel, as you can imagine from the title, because, well, it's about the puppy years. When it comes to Equalizer, I've seen all three of those movies. I actually saw Equalizer free in theaters, really enjoyed it. And then with Marley and Me, I've seen the 2008 movie. I haven't seen the direct-to-video prequel. First of all, when you look at highest Rotten Tomatoes score for each franchise, in the case of Equalizer, Part 3 is the highest score of 76%. With Marley and Me, that first film has the highest score of 63%. Equalizer wins. And then when you look at lowest score, with Equalizer, the second film is the lowest score of only 52%, whereas with Marley and Me, Puppy Years only has a 42%, so Equalizer wins again. Then when you look at average, Equalizer has an average score of 63, whereas Marley and Me has an average score of 52. Equalizer wins again. Then when you look at gap between lowest and highest score, in the case of Marley and Me, you have a gap of 21. Whereas with Equalizer, you have a gap of 24. So Marley and Me actually does win this round, but already Equalizer is going to win this debate regardless of my personal opinion. And this one's actually not difficult for me at all. It's pretty easy. Equalizer absolutely is going to be the franchise I prefer. And for one, I've seen all the movies. That's a big reason right off the bat. But also, I like how the Equalizer films are not exactly the same as John Wick. Both of these franchises are action franchises, of course, so they're under the same genre. But the big difference is that we see in the Equalizer films, our main character, the Equalizer, he is actually capable of being friendly, pleasant, affable when he's talking to people who aren't trying to hurt him, who aren't working against him. We see when he's talking to just regular average people, he knows how to interact with others. Whereas if John Wick, if you think about it, he's really only interacting with people who are also part of the assassin underworld. So he doesn't really know how to be that friendly to just normal, average people that are not part of this assassin underworld. We don't really see him being very pleasant or affable. There's more of a sadness, frankly, to his character if you think about it, because he loses his wife right at the start of the first movie, and then his wife gives him this little puppy because she wanted him to be happy. And then tragically, those horrible people go ahead and kill John Wick's dog, which just pushes him over the edge. And we as the audience are right with him. We're like, John Wick, just kill all of them. How dare you hurt an innocent dog? That is a lot worse than just beating up John Wick or stealing his car. You had to also be unnecessarily cruel to an innocent animal. You are going to pay for that. John Wick, you better make them pay. After the first film, though, after John Wick gets his revenge against the people who did that to him, let's think about this for a moment. Is John Wick truly happy? I mean, the start of the second film, he goes back to his house. He still has that. He has a new dog, so I mean, that's something. But then these bad guys blow up his house. So at that point, the only thing John has left really is his dog, along with people that are like acquaintances, colleagues, co-workers. They're not really John Wick's friends on a personal level. He doesn't really know them all that well. He just works with them on a business level. So that's what I mean when I say there's just a sadness to John Wick's character. We're like, oh, he doesn't really have anyone, frankly. He doesn't really have anything to live for other than just trying to survive or get revenge on people. So by the time you get to the fourth film, when we're at the end and John Wick has been shot, it seems pretty clear that at this point he just doesn't want to he doesn't want to keep going. He doesn't want to keep living because he doesn't have a reason left to keep going. He's nothing to live for. I'm sure he's thinking, if I die, then I'll be reunited with my beloved wife. So he pretty clearly is like, hey guys, can you just make sure that I'm buried well? I don't want to keep going on any longer. With Equalizer, our main character doesn't have quite as much sadness in him as John Wick does. Now, in the case of Marley and Me, I enjoy that 2008 movie. It's entertaining, but also ends in a way that makes you feel sad. Oh, the dog is dying. That's that's sad. They realized right at the end that Marley was a good dog, even though he drove them nuts. Sometimes they didn't want him there, but he was always there for them. He loved them every day. That's what Owen Wilson's character says right at the end. I think the visuals of that movie are good. It's not like the visuals are all that flashy or anything like that, but they work. I think the acting is good. It's an engaging story, though I definitely am a fan of it. But, however, Equalizer is going to win this debate because I think the story in these films is interesting. I like they have this guy who is able to just switch very quickly from being pleasant, friendly, and affable to being a much more serious guy who uses his set of skills against people. I like the acting in these movies. The visuals work. Again, not super flashy, but they get the job done. I definitely enjoy Equalizer more. That'll be it for now.